Fran from Living Your Greatest Life. Have you ever wondered what co-parenting with a narcissist looks like? Have you ever thought, am I going crazy? This seems so difficult. If so, and you want to learn a bit more, then this could be the video for you. So just have a listen and see what you think. If you are thinking, this is really turbulent, it's really difficult, it should be so simple, why is everything so difficult? Nothing is sort of child focused, and you're struggling and you're left scratching your head and wondering what's going on, that's probably because, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, co-parenting with a narcissist doesn't exist. What actually exists is parallel parenting. It's like you're on two different ends of the spectrum, and somewhere you've got to meet in the middle for the sake of your child or children, and that is so hard. The reason why it is so hard is because the narcissist or other toxic parent has absolutely zero respect for other people, and if they do, or especially for you, if they do, it's often feigned. They have absolutely no concept of boundaries and sticking to things and making things work. So that presents some major problems. And I make this video in light of trying to prevent the things that can happen from that, which includes basically the child abuse of parental alienation and other drastic things that can happen that aren't as serious as that. But this is more about prevention. So it's about awareness and, really checking in, saying, what is this that I'm actually experiencing? What can I do to improve it? What strategies can I use? Because that's often really hard. You see, in my opinion, and it's also documented, I think that when you break up, when you finally end that relationship, when you finally have the energy or the energy to end that relationship, and you do so, that is where the real stuff happens. That's where it all begins, because with the breakup, for the narcissist comes the loss of control of you. So they are no longer able to control you as they did do if you were in a relationship with them. So that's where the child then becomes the focus of trying to get to you, manipulate you and control you. And so they don't really want to work with you. They're not really interested in co-parenting, really. They just want to make things as difficult as possible, because they probably want to punish you for the fact that you've actually put in some boundaries and left. And during this loss of control can come an absolute tornado of stuff that whips through the whole of your life, your child's life, all family members that are close to you, your friends. It is literally like a tornado. It's explosive, it can be violent, it's mentally abusive, and can cause permanent damage. So I think it's really good to be aware and think, is this happening to me? Is this happening to me, and what can I do? Always a degree of major hostility. Everything is really difficult around the child. What should be such a lovely thing is just so difficult. Any kind of conflict is always escalated like threefold, and there is kind of the creation of conflict. So there may be some problems which the narcissist will try to blame you for, and that's where it all starts. And if you don't kind of keep a lid on it, and it's almost impossible to do, especially without any level of support, it really can go terribly wrong, and cause some really big issues, and more importantly, cause your child, your son, daughters, sons, some kind of permanent damage. And I'm not going to say it's irreversible, because it may not be, but you really want to prevent that, and it's really hard to do. So you need to be as aware as possible. So during that loss of control and trying to take back power, the sort of things that you may expect to see are even simple things which you think are simple at the time, but eating into the other parent's contact. So, you know, constantly phoning, constantly texting, a barrage of communication whilst the contact is taking place with the other parent. So, for example, you may be with the children at a family meal, and the child or children may receive a phone call, and there's a barrage of dialogue, and the child's mood may change, and the child feels kind of compelled. It's not like in a kind of regular healthy situation. Oh, hi, it's your mum. Okay, so yeah, I can't talk at the moment, mum, because I'm just here with my family having a meal. It's not going to be as simple as that. It's always about controlling that time and space in every nook and cranny possible. So if that sounds familiar to you, then try to do the best you can. Another little trick, which is partly to control and destabilize your structure, is, you know, things like making pickups and drop-offs difficult, you know, always being late or not picking up when they should do, or, you know, stopping things from happening and running as they should do, and creating unexpected changes. For example, having something happen where they can't have the child, or they're going to have the child for extra time. So the child becomes a pawn in a game. It is like a toxic game of chess, and it needs to be stopped. Kind of things that are where the kind of the targeting begins, and this is sort of like the route to alienation. You know, for example, questioning a child, you know, like, what did your parent do with you? You know, what did you do on Saturday? Did you see anybody? Did you do this? Did you do that? Almost like interrogation kind of style questioning, and then making an issue of the findings. So trying to pick up something there to change the tone, and change the way the child feels about the other parent. So that's where the psychological manipulation comes in, with the control, just with these little things. And also by questioning the child, they are getting to know what's happening in the other household. So it serves two functions, really. It's incredibly toxic. It even goes as far as instructing the child to take pictures and record parts of conversations, with a view to trying to use it as evidence in a negative way, using it as evidence to twist something. Very often these things are taken out of context and used to twist and create, to frame the parent in a different light. And sometimes this has led to false allegations in the past for a lot of people, and yeah, it's really, really tough. The thing is, one parent using psychological and mental games against the other. For example, buying a gift which is more expensive than the other parent can afford, or having elaborate holidays. So just little things dropped in there to sort of add to the control. And another big one, which is my final point for this video, is being the parent with no boundaries, with no rules and no consequences, being the kind of Peter Pan parent, and not sort of following the same kind of rules and stuff as you do, which obviously undermines your parenting, and it confuses the child so much. The child is living in complete confusion, and then the parent who does have some rules and boundaries then becomes victim to, I suppose, for the child to say, well, you know, I do this here and I do. The child becomes so confused. It's so bad. So, okay, so this is the video 1. There are other videos in this series. If you're interested, have a look at the links below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.